All right, Mayor, it's 7 o'clock.
Okay, at 7 o'clock, I'm going to call the meeting of Milton Plan Commission for February 22nd, 2022 to order. And the first item is the roll call.
Sure, Mayor Brar.
Here.
Commissioner Bruce.
Here.
Commissioner Erdman Hermans.
Present.
Commissioner Paulson.
Here.
Commissioner Ramsey. He'll be joining us a little late, he indicated. Commissioner Schaefer.
Here.
Commissioner Slavish.
Here.
And you have Daphne and myself present this evening as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so the next item is the approval of the minutes, and I need a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Okay, need a second.
8 for seconds.
Okay, any questions or comments or changes? All those in favor of approval of the minutes, the Plan Commission minutes for February 8th, 2022, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? So the motion passes. So the next item is the concept review of Milton Cross Plain Area School District High School athletic field entrance. So who is going to take it? This I can just well, is there a presentation here? Somebody going to?
Daphne prepared the staff comments, and we have several people here associated with the school district as well, Mayor.
Okay.
And I see someone from EUA here as well.
Okay, all right. So let's see if somebody, does this school district wants to make a presentation. I have gone through the whole material. It's very impressive. It looks very good. I think this facility needed upgrading, and I want to say thank you to the alumni raising that money. And I think our school is going to look great. So there are a few issues here and there, but we will talk for those. But EUA, do you want to, well, is somebody going to make a presentation, or Daphne, you want to get started?
Yeah, I can give an overview, and if I miss anything, Robin, I've been talking to Robin, and I think she can, fill in. So basically, yeah, there's going to be 3 or 4 new buildings. The 2 bigger ones are on kind of the lot line, so there may need to be moving of a storm sewer and amending some easement agreements that we have with that. I asked about construction noise, and that will mostly be the loudest would probably be around demolition time, and they said demolition would take 3 to 4 days, and then the construction will overlap with the construction at the school at the south end. They said the north end would probably be finished up by then, by the time this one gets started. And then they also plan to bring the design review and the sign plan review on March 8th. And at that meeting, they have, kind of a base scope of what's going to be built out. And then there are add-ons as funds are raised with the fundraising. And so all of that will be submitted with the design review. And then in addition with that, there's a lot of signage that they're proposing, which looks really nice. And so that will also be a separate submittal at the time of design review.
I like the colors, I think the cardinal red, it makes things stand out. So the colors are really nice. So my question is that the stands do not change. It's removing the tickets and the earlier first part of the building, but the area where people are sitting, that remains as it is, right?
That is correct. Just doing work towards the front of the stadium to replace the existing toilet rooms and concession building and ticket booth, and enhance it a lot and add locker rooms out there.
Mm-hmm. So now they use the locker room in the well, I know where they used to use in the high school, right? So they didn't really have.
It's a combination of both in the high school and out here at the field.
Oh, okay. But this will make a big change, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Substantial change. This is a vision for a number of the alumni and a number of the athletics and coaches, but also other people that use the stadium, such as the marching band and the dance teams. And there's a number of other community groups, I believe soccer and a couple other leagues that also use the facilities. And they've struggled over time, with not enough toilets and things in kind of maybe not accessible for people that are ambulatory challenged and wheelchair and so forth. So we're really making good on a lot of that at this point.
So I noticed that it's supposed to, improve the baseball field as well as, mainly will be the football field, but the baseball as well. So the connection will be all from the same place, or is there going to be a difference? Or it looks like from the same, right?
Yeah. Yes. So they're on the plan. The main entrance into what we call the stadium, where the track and football will be in between those kind of two buildings, right where the cursor is right there.
Okay.
That'll be main entrance. So if you're going to a track and field event or a marching band or football or something, you go through there. For a baseball game, just around the corner, there's a small ticketing building that was just being highlighted by the cursor there. And then a new entrance and promenade, which brings people back to the football bleachers and home plate dugout area where you view the football game. It's actually further back off of here. Back in that area is where home base is, where the existing baseball bleachers are for patrons.
Well, it looks very good. Any questions from the commissioners? Please raise your hand. Well, I guess everybody seems to
And
be.
Mayor, I'll just note, I see Sarah Church from Veerbeker here too, if anyone has any civil engineering questions. I did have the question on what's the property line that the staff comments say it over on the cursor, and whose property is that entering onto?
I believe both are owned by the school district. There is just, I think our engineers noted that there might be some easement that's, right along the line. So that's the major issue.
Okay. But they're just crossing the parcel line that they themselves own. So
right.
It's not an issue. No, I was just going to say, as a parent of children in the athletic programs who spent way too many hours in these stadiums and the baseball field, I'm very appreciative of the alumni and the school district sport. And I think, to use a baseball metaphor, you guys knocked it out of the park with this design. So
Thank you.
I don't have any comments.
The way to go. Maybe, well, next will be Commissioner Schaefer and then Commissioner Bruce, but I have a question for Daphne, and that is that I thought there were some utility issues with that property line, right? So I'm sure that, the architect, you guys will handle it because you don't want the building on a storm sewer or some of that stuff, right?
Yeah, we're gonna relocate the existing storm sewer so it falls between or where the new baseball promenade path occurs. We need to move that line over. We just didn't have enough room to put everything in there.
Okay, so you will handle it. Okay, Commissioner Schaefer and then Commissioner Bruce. Commissioner Schaefer.
Yeah, just a comment and a question. The comment is, I think it looks fabulous. I agree with Kurt. I think this is it's an out of the ballpark kind of design. And when I look at the layout of stuff, everything seems there and it seems in logical places and everything. So I applaud you for the design. The simple question is more informational. When I look at all the drawings, everything is a single story, but all the visuals have a second story. Is that just a facade with utilities up there, or is there going to be something? Is there actually going to be something of a second story?
Yeah, I can speak to that. And Daphne alluded ever so slightly in the overview. We have a base project here, which is a one-story building. It has what you see here on the screen: locker rooms, team rooms, storage areas, area for coaches, area for reps, area for trainers, concession, toilets, ticketing, player stuff. The base project is currently being estimated around $9 million. And there is a series of buy-ups, as you may or may not be aware. This is not like, for instance, what the district just went through with a referendum where the taxpayers all chipped in and paid. This is kind of like the district has put forth money. There's a private donor that has put forth a very large sum of money, and the remainder of the funding is going to be fundraised and funded by the community and by other donors for the project. We are, and I haven't had a meeting in a week to check, so I can't tell you where we're at with fundraising, but with the district and the single donor, we were more than 75% funded at that time, as of last week, right? So long story short with your question, the base project is one story. As the district secures fundraising, they will approve or not approve whether or not to build the second floor on the facility. So if you go to the next slide, what we're trying to do is build a second floor multi-purpose community space on the second level. It would have 2 spaces akin and be outfitted like classroom spaces for just general instruction, or if you want to play a video or a team movie or something like that. But the spaces can also be combined together to create a larger space. So if you're going to do a team banquet, or if a community group wants to come in and lease the space or rent the space for an event, that's what that area up on the upper level is for. It's also an extension of the PE program at the high school. For when they're doing PE classes outside, they have an instructional space directly adjacent to the playing surfaces that the students would be using for PE class.
All right. Well, thank you. That wasn't clear to me when I looked at the materials, but back to the premise, I think it all looks great, and I hope you get the second story too. It sounds like it'll be
John,
great.
when we do our next submittal, we're going to show the base and then the full completed on that submittal, so you kind of understand what the base project is and the full project is. So,
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
So then you have the height of 40 feet. So then that 40 feet actually include the second floor, right?
Yeah.
yeah, and we're below 40 feet. I'm pretty certain on that.
Okay. So the next one is Commissioner Bruce.
Yeah, I just wanted to compliment the design team. It's a really nice solution, very attractive. I think it'll be a great asset to the community. Thank you for doing it.
Oh, thank you. And the district is equally in line for commendations on this. They had a vision that they came forward with, obviously a big need that they have currently right now. And so hats off to Jamie Sims and Jason Pertzborn and Bill, who's on a call tonight, and a number of other people at the district, really being very supportive of this project. So,
Okay.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Otherwise, I make a motion to approve the concept.
I'll second.
Okay, any further questions and comments? Okay, all those in favor of approving the concept review for the Milton Craftsman Area School District High School athletic field entrance, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We are on to the.
And Mayor, I have a quick question for Chris. Is your last name spelled Michaud?
that's correct.
All right, thank you. Just for the record. Thank you.
Okay, Chris, go ahead and get things going. So, all right.
Thanks, everybody. Have a
Yeah.
good night.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next item is the sign design review, and this is for Pfizer 2232 Pleasant View Road. Those injection folks, guys. So is that Daphne? Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, so they're just updating existing signage on their building, but they are proposing a new monument sign. This new sign complies better with our sign code, as their existing one is considered a pole sign, so they're making it a monument sign. overall, we don't have any issues with the adjustments.
So I
Okay,
would make a motion for approval.
Paulson, a second.
okay. So the motion by Commissioner Slavish and second by Commissioner Paulson. Any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion to approve the sign design review for 502-232 Pleasant View Road, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We are on to item number 3. This is the extraterritorial certified survey map in town of Springfield. This is the Laufenberg Brothers LLC 6969 Riles Road. And this is,
I have this one, Mayor.
okay, Mark, go ahead, please.
So this is in our extraterritorial area, as you just noted, and we, it's taking 4 acres out of a 40-acre parcel, leaving the balance for cultivated agricultural field, so crops. The town of Springfield has jurisdiction over the zoning, so I would recommend a revised staff recommendation would be to approve the CSM contingent on town of Springfield approval of the zoning map amendment and conditional use permit.
Okay.
I will make that my motion.
I will second it.
You can just put that
Okay.
into the record. We don't have to restate it all.
Eloquently stated, Kurt.
And just to clarify, Mark, this is in our extraterritorial plat review area, but not in an extraterritorial zoning. or
Right,
joint
that's why I
zoning
tried to,
district. Yes.
if I, maybe I misspoke, but I was trying to emphasize that it's extraterritorial CSM, but they have the zoning authority.
Okay, any questions or comments? Any questions or comments? Okay,
It'll be a nice addition to have a little butcher shop up there. I mean, like a retail store where you can buy local meat.
it is set up interesting, the way they use the language, harvesting the animals. So I guess that's what it is. But it just, I never used, never thought of the term for the animals, harvesting the crops, yes, but that's probably what it is. So, okay, any questions or comments? All those in favor of the motion to approve the extraterritorial certified survey map in town of Springfield, this is the Laufenberg Brothers LLC 6969 Riles Road, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion passed unanimously. We are on to our last item here. This is the referral from Public Works Committee for concept review. This is the parking along Deming Way through Greenway Station Shopping Center. It does have some issues, and who's Mark, you're gonna take it?
Yes, so earlier today I sent you a revised drawing with an email from the applicant. And Daphne, that's what you have displayed now, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and so this shows some changes that they made to maintain more of the pedestrian environment, as I understand it. Is there somebody on the call who's going to speak to this? I don't see- Roxanne, okay.
Yep, I'm here and my camera's not working. I'm not sure why.
Okay. So Roxanne, if that's all right with you, Mayor, if she could go ahead
Sure.
and speak to this.
Sure.
Then
Yeah.
go ahead and explain what's the difference between, I see those red stars between what you presented to the Public Works and what you have changed.
So do you have the aerial one, Mark?
We have it in the packet. Yep, and Daphne's pulling it up. There we go.
Okay. Or the one that I sent today by chance? It's fine.
Okay,
So
I don't-
so there's parallel parking on Deming Way right now. And the leasing and running of this whole Greenway station is being taken over by Galway companies. And the feedback that they have been getting from the tenants is that there's just not enough parking along Deming. So he's having trouble leasing these spaces. So he asked me to take a look and see if there was some way that we could get some more stalls on Deming Way. And I came up with this plan, which is a little bit of an older version. And there's quite a bit of storm sewer relocate and light poles. And when we went to Public Works, Sean had brought up like, it's a very wide street. And he was wondering, well, I laid out a different plan, kind of using the existing curb line, so we don't have to relocate storm sewer or light poles, and we kind of squeeze it in a little bit because it is such a big road right away, or like the pavement width is very wide. So I laid out another option, and then if you guys thought we should explore it further, we were going to have a traffic engineer take a look at it to make sure, you know, it all works with traffic flow. So that's where we're at today.
So then you're, you know, Roxanne, you have those beautiful landscape. What part of that still would remain? That means the landscaping between where the pedestrian and the road.
Well, with the revised option, a lot more landscaping would remain because we'd be mainly following the curb line, but we would be impacting it some. I'm wondering if I can.
It was sort of hard to tell by looking at those maps. So, but you know, if you could.
You can share your screen too, Roxanne.
Okay.
Roxanne, I think the mayor's referring to those landscaped bump outs on the north side of that little roundabout.
Yeah. Here, let me just see if I can get it up here.
Yeah, it looks beautiful as it is now, but I think having these, you know, the 45-degree parking, which adds 30 more stalls, I can see it will make a big difference for those, you know, shops right along the Deming Way. So in that perspective, it is a good idea. So, but we got to address the issues, I suppose. So.
Can you see my screen now, or?
We just
we see an email.
Yeah.
Oh, you see email?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you see my cursor. Okay. So these are the islands, you know, like here we would be increasing the landscaping a little bit because the curb line goes back here. This bump out, you know, we'd have to hire a landscape architect to kind of reconfigure this. And then you can see the curb kind of comes in and we're going to kind of keep it straight. And we have, you know, we're laying out these turn lanes and striping, and, you know, you kind of come in and flow around. And then on this side, you know, here's the curb line. I kind of come in a little bit, you know, and same here. So I guess this bump out and this bump out would be impacted. This curb line, you know, it would get bigger in here, but, you know, it's kind of not a lot of change for, we gained, I think we gained like
30 parking spaces. So.
Yeah, about 30, little bit less with this one, I think, maybe 29 or 28, but this works way better because you're not impacting so much because you're trying to utilize the existing curb line.
So all the changes which you are making, these will be financed by the developer, by the Galloway, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Okay, well, I think I do like your newer ones, which protects the flower bed a bit more than they were before. And I have the, so Commissioner Bruce, and then Commissioner Paulson, then Commissioner Schaefer. Commissioner Bruce.
I'm supportive of this idea. I had a little bit of problem initially with it because there's just so much parking out there already, and we're, you know, adding more parking. I suppose it's just this is where the parking's necessary, and I think we want to do what we can to keep them successful. I honestly think that one of the things that would help that development in general would be to get some more housing and more people back in that area. So if the developers ever would consider developing some of the parking lot area that exists behind these buildings to add some more housing or more office, I think that would do a lot for their commercial activities and a lot for the development. But that's not for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bruce. Next one is Commissioner Paulson.
Yeah, so 3 questions. So first question is, this portion of Deming Way through the Greenway Station is a public street, right?
Yes,
So that means the city is responsible for snow removal even on these parking spaces?
yes,
And that would mean that if we metered or at a 2-hour limit, it would have to be city enforcement, right?
right.
So the second question is, yeah, the design of Greenway Station is interesting, right? Because it has that Main Street walkable lifestyle center feel, but then it also has the kind of big box with surface parking lot tucked behind, and both work. But I'm wondering if why there's not the same turnover we see in the stalls on Deming that we would see in a downtown. Are employees just parking there all day?
In the parallel ones,
In the parallel, yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know who's parking there. Or all I know is Steve's trying to lease them, and keeps getting people backing away because they want some, more stalls in this area.
I mean, in terms of the design itself, it is a way to solve that issue, and it makes good use of the space we have. I'm a little concerned on this design, all the bump outs, particularly on the north side there, because there's just 2 bump outs on each side on the north now, right?
Right.
That those go away, and it's kind of a long block face of parking. Is there any way, I mean, those bump outs give it that kind of traffic calming landscaped feel. I know you're going to put some additional landscaping in what looks like is the sidewalk.
Well, just by the roundabout kind of thing there, or the island in the middle. Okay. But other than that.
So the first design you submitted that the Public Works Committee reviewed is different than this design. Was this design reviewed by the Public Works Committee?
Yeah.
No, the one in your packet, I think it was. And then after that meeting, when Sean had brought up, like, maybe it would be better to narrow it up, obviously that works better for a variety of reasons. And so I laid out a plan that way. Okay. And I think we, I don't know that this is going to be the plan exactly either. They just didn't want to keep wasting time on it if you guys didn't even want it. I mean, it would just be dead.
So Sean would prefer a narrower travel lane, even if it means removing the bump outs, because those should serve the same purposes to slow down traffic, right?
Right.
Okay.
I think it's safe to say that this evolution of this drawing is consistent with direction provided by the city engineer. Is that a fair statement, Roxanne?
Yeah, I think he mentioned it, in fairness, there was one commissioner who didn't want that. So I don't know where this is gonna go, but he mentioned it. My client asked me to draw it. I did. Then sent it to Sean. Then Sean had some comments. I revised it. Then I revised it again. And we've been kind of working through through this concept to get it in a form that I think he whatever likes better than the other one, maybe, I don't know. And
Yeah,
then,
that makes sense. Oh,
yeah, okay.
So I
So-
think what you could do as a commission is you could review, if you like this drawing or have any other suggestions to it, that will be feedback that goes back to the public works staff and possibly the committee.
And so I'm less thrilled about a design where it's just a long row of parking, but knowing that this is what helps to narrow the travel lane, and that will kind of slow the cars. I mean, that's why we had the bump out. So I'm less worried now about losing those bump outs. But I think we'll still want to be concerned about making sure that there's adequate landscaping to kind of protect the visual feel of a main street. So that's all I have. Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you, Commissioner Paulson. Next is Commissioner Schaefer.
Oh, it's my turn? Yeah.
Yeah,
just-
yeah.
I just want to say, I agree with Randy. I think the concept is really good. I like, driving through the front of those stores, despite the big parking lots behind. This is outside in the middle of winter. And I can see how in some ways it becomes not attractive. I also like the angled parking because somebody who sits for long times waiting for people to get in and out of parallel spots, particularly in winter, can be a real drag. And so this is a much easier in and out for parkers. I also agree a little bit with what Kurt said, but I look at the design where you're taking out those bump outs on the north side. What would stop you from doing very little narrow, like jut outs, like taking 1 or 2 spots out of each side? Certain parking lots, like up at Walgreens, they have these little jut outs with a tree in them that are no wider than 1 spot. And you could perhaps keep the calming and keep some of the greenness without getting rid of more than just say two total spots. But in general, I really like the concept.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next one is Commissioner Gretchen Erdmann. Go ahead, Gretchen.
I would mirror everything everyone else said, but I guess I have a little bit of a concern about safety when we look at backing out of these stalls and the roundabout, just the visibility there. And I'm wondering if these are speed bumps or crosswalks at the ends. I can't really tell what's going on at the end of this. There's some perpendicular lines to the road. Just wondering if there's enough visibility to navigate this with the back out. And then the other question is, because I'm simply unaware, where's the bus stop in this development?
Bus stop is on John Q. You mean for Metro Transit?
Yeah.
It's at John Q. Hammonds Drive, a block to the east.
Would there
So
be a
the-
way maybe for one of these other parallel spots farther up by C14 to, in the future, if Metro is updated, like bring a bus in closer too?
Metro Transit
is-
has,
I guess a different
the-
subject, but I'm just
yeah,
thinking out
it's
loud
not
here.
related to this. And I think with the reason why Metro doesn't operate through here is because of the circle and the constraints associated with traffic.
Yeah,
They
okay.
prefer John Q. Hammonds.
So do we need a traffic assessment to know if there's enough visibility for a back out with the roundabout?
Yes, and I think that is gonna happen if you guys think it could move forward. So then I think Sean's gonna hire a traffic engineer to look at it and have feedback, and then my client would pay for it.
More question, Gretchen?
No.
Okay, Commissioner Bruce.
Yeah, I thought that Commissioner Schaefer's suggestion of adding a tree island on the north and south side of that western set of stalls would be a good one. I think it actually would be more in conformance with our parking lot ordinance too. I thought we had a requirement to have a tree island every 12 stalls anyways. So I
We
think-
do, and I was thinking about the same thing. This is obviously, that's for a private off-street parking lot. But this
True.
would function, it would look more like a parking lot, obviously, and having a interruption every 12 stalls or roughly 12 stalls would, you know, introduces the traffic calming and landscaping benefit, although it does add a little maintenance concern, but it does improve the aesthetics.
Yeah.
Okay, so any more questions from the commissioners?
Yeah,
So,
I guess just now, how do we plow this with the snow? We just kind of go in or down the main road and then those parking stalls are, if someone's occupying them. I'm sure the Public Works Committee is thinking about how we plow these spots, but
We didn't talk about that.
you didn't talk about that, Susan? Okay, thanks.
No.
well, it is in the minutes, but I guess I'm sure they will address it. Now I have a couple of questions here, which one of them, Kurt Parson raised that, you know, if the employees are parking there and if they will be still parking in the future, that doesn't really won't help the customers. So this is something, Roxanne, which you may want to bring up to the attention of Galloway. So the second one is, which I thought you were already going to address. The second motion which the Public Works had made was that to evaluate the potential effect of the traffic operations and safety in this area. And Commissioner Gritton also talked about the safety. So the Roxanne, my understanding is that you are actually, that's going to happen, right? Have we approve it?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. So the last one is that, so right now, other than parking, it looks really very nice. It looks very beautiful. And I hope that, you know, the aesthetic feel remained the same. And I'm sure you will work on this, that, you know, you got the parking while still maintaining the aesthetic feel, because it is a very beautiful place and I love it. So that's all I have. And I guess we need a motion to approve.
So moved, Schaefer.
Okay.
I'll second, but just to make clear, it's recommending concept approval.
That's right.
Yeah, and it will go back to the Public Works and with our comments. So
So you're
Any-
referring specifically to the revised drawing too, just to clarify.
Yes,
Yeah,
the revised
yeah.
drawing.
Yep, and I'm sure the staff or the Public Works will look at that at some stage in any case. Yeah, well, I agree with everyone else that it's going to help with the parking situation, and you will ensure that it is for the customers and employees can park, you know, in the main parking lot, and you will maintain the aesthetic appeal. Yeah.
Can I ask whoever made the motion, can we, a friendly amendment to include an encouragement to consider one or two small tree islands to replace a stall, as John Schaefer had recommended?
Yeah, and John Schaefer made the motion, so I agree to the
Okay.
change.
Okay, all right.
So the
And
motion I have recorded, Mayor, is to support the concept depicted in the revised drawing and
Yep.
to encourage the use of one or two tree islands.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know, I don't know whether you need to add an emotion, but maintain the aesthetic appeal. So I don't think we need to put that in there. Okay, and it will go to the Public Works, right, or the staff to look at it.
The way I heard the motion made was just to support the concept depicted in the revised drawing and to encourage the addition of one or two tree islands. And then that can just be flexible, that Public Works can take that up again if they feel the need to.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Motion passes. This is not on the agenda, but I was just going to ask that sooner or later, probably sooner, we're going to go to meetings in person. And I think the city council will probably talk about it at their next meeting. And does anybody feel uneasy about it? Or maybe we could, to begin with, have a hybrid. So If the
Well,
city.
if the county emergency order is ending,
Mhm.
does the city's emergency order connect to the county, or is it a separate emergency order?
Yeah, it's connected to the county.
Because once the emergency order is done,
Mhm.
I think we have to have in-person meetings, right?
Well, anyway, so, but you won't really have any issues if we do, right?
No,
Okay.
No.
Okay, okay, all right, so Commissioner Bruce, you had your hand up?
I was just gonna say that I think we should have hybrid meetings for the public purposes, if nothing else. And
Yeah, yeah.
and it gives them a much more opportunity to attend or voice their comments.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I was thinking about the same. We have some issues in terms of not getting the equipment yet. So anyway, that's a very good thought. Okay, anything else which you want to share? Okay, otherwise need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, need a second.
Second,
Second.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion to adjourn, say aye.
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 Well, thank you to every one of you and have a great evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you.